弥陀佛. Today, I would like to introduce a Chinese monastery in Sanas, Varanasi of India. Sanas is the location where Buddha first time turned the well of Dharma, teaching Four Noble Truths. And Sanas is one of the four most holy places in Buddhist history. So this Chinese temple is just located 650 meters east of the main entrance to the ancient Buddhist complex. And the monastery was founded in 1939. At that time, the abbot of Beijing Fayun Temple, the president of the Eastern Asian Buddhist Association, Venerable Dao Jie, visited Sanas. He found one Chinese temple built by a Chinese monk in Tang Dynasty. Tang Dynasty is about 1,000 years ago, okay? So he founded one Chinese temple built by a Chinese monk in Tang Dynasty was deserted. He then made a vow to rebuild, to restore this monastery, and he did the necessary preparation. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1934. With the donation of Singapore businessman Jun Chengli, his student Venerable De Yu took over his mission of rebuilding this Chinese temple in Sanas. He constructed the main buildings. The gate and combo wall were built up later in 1953 through the donation of India Chinese under the supervision of its second abbot, Venerable Ben Zhao and Venerable Zheng Can. The plot of land on which this temple was built was previously a vegetable plot and a mangrove. The buildings are in a bright shade of red and yellow and have beautiful-looking Chinese designs. There are Chinese lanterns hanging on the walls, and lots of pigeons hang around in very calm surroundings and a small garden. It's a relatively simple structure, but immensely peaceful and tranquil. It seems that not many people visit this temple.
Hi, Buddhist temple around the world. My name is Sangadut, the in-charge of Chinese Buddhist temple, and my abbot is Dr. Malaysian from Thailand. I was born in 1993, and I became novice in 2005, and I became monk in 2012, and I study Buddhism at University.
In the entrance hall, there are Buddhist slogans in Chinese calligraphy. Buddhism, like the sun, will expel ignorance. All will get bliss, and continuity turning of the Dharma well. Going forward through the courtyard is the shrine hall of the temple, which houses the Burmese jade Buddha. It's difficult for Chinese monks to attain long-term residential status in India. The Chinese Buddhist Alliance in Kolkata, India, invited Thai monks to manage the Chinese temple in Sanas since 1997. So, you can see the picture of the King of Thailand in the main hall. The current abbot is the Venerable Dr. Pamasina from Thailand. There is an information board detailing the road taken by the famous Chinese Buddhist monk scholar Venerable Xuanzang. He embarked his journey from China in 629 AD and traveled extensively throughout North India between 634 and 645 AD, documenting his experiences in a series of journals that have been an invaluable source of information for scholars. Interestingly, on the wall of this temple, there is a text written by the famous Indian Chinese, who was called by India Prime Minister Miss Indira Gandhi as a great scholar, Buddhist layman Tan Yunsan. Mr. Tan Yunsan is also the main initiator and the donor of the Chinese Dajie Temple in Buddha Gaya of India, where Buddha got enlightenment.
And this is the Chinese monk before, but they are now passed away. So they are founder of the Chinese Buddhist temple, Varanasi. Our dining hall, the monk and the people take lunch and breakfast over here. So this is our here once you are in Varanasi, because this is this temple was founded by the Chinese monk. It's called the Chinese temple. So this is your temple. So thank you.
The Chinese monastery in Varanasi was built up 1,000 years ago and got rebuilt in 1939. In my personal opinion, I think the initial idea to build up this monastery is to promote Chinese Buddhist Mahayana tradition in its motherland. Unfortunately, until now, no one Chinese monk is living there. And I wish to deliver the message to all the venerables who practice Chinese Buddhist Mahayana tradition all over the world to recognize this situation and wish some of you will go there, will live there, will promote Chinese Buddhist Mahayana tradition there to fulfill the wish of the initial founders of this Chinese Mahayana tradition in Varanasi. Thank you for watching, and if you have any question, you can always email to us huayanusa@gmail.com, the International Hawaiian Buddhist Federation. Thank you.
乌兰巴托的夜那么静，那么静，连风都听不到，我听不到。